Executive Director Bo Hines tells Mara CEO the crypto industry could hit a staggering 15 to 20 trillion dollars once stablecoin legislation is passed. This is how big the stablecoin legislation being passed is. This is not just stablecoins. What a lot of people don't understand is the Genius Act and the stablecoin legislation being passed is not just benefiting the stablecoin. It obviously encourages banks, which have been getting that green light by the regulators, and fintech companies and institutional adoption to get to another level. And on top of that, it obviously catalyzes innovation, competition, and of course, leadership within the US to expand to a greater scale for this new emerging technology. Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. To the XRP holders, I'm talking too fast. Apologize for you guys. But if you're looking across the board, market is looking amazing. Once again, you're starting to see the market going back into the green. As of recording this update right now, we are literally about 40 minutes away from us to see that daily candle close happening, which is going to be very interesting. And it looks like the market is picking up. XRP, to be exact, $2.26, up about 1.3% in USD and about 0.2% in Bitcoin. Comparative market cap at $133.2 billion and the 24-hour trading volume at about 3.5 billion. Before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So the US House announces Crypto Week for July, 14th to 18th, so literally coming up, featuring consideration of three major bills: the Clarity Act, Anti-CBDC Surveillance Act, and the Genius Act. So a big week ahead. We're literally days away from us to, really find out what kind of things are going to be discussed. So, this is very important. The next few days are extremely important for the crypto space. And of course, the FOMC meeting, I just don't know which exact date it is. I will obviously pull that out for you guys in the next update. But FOMC meeting is scheduled for this week as well, which is going to be very interesting. Job numbers were better than what people were expecting, which of course is something we need to also keep into consideration. Stock market has been doing quite strong. But look at what Zoom says. Are you paying attention to XRP? It's pretty much showing the RSI levels. You can see, when you see this happening every time the price of XRP does see a pump. And if you're looking at the price of XRP, it is looking ready. It's coiling. We've been talking about this on our channel daily. XRP price is coiling to break out. And I think, it's imminent at this point. As we discussed literally last night, my title was It's Imminent, and it definitely is imminent because the price of XRP continuously wants to retest that $2.33 key resistance, which of course is that very key level that I'm keeping an eye out on. And if that is able to break out, I personally think that, we are going into the 23.6, which is all-time high territory. So great stuff. David Sachs, look what he says. Congratulations to President Trump, the House, and the Senate leadership and White House staff for passing one big, beautiful bill. Historic victories on border securities, tax cuts, welfare reform, and deregulation. Next up, Crypto Week in the House, July 14th. Of course, as I've discussed, Genius Act, which of course is the stable coins, is heading to the president's desk. Clarity Act, market structure, is heading to the Senate. Amazing progress in 6 months, which, more victories to come. Literally 6 months. What does this mean? The next, obviously, half of the year, second half, which we have already started. We have entered the second half of the year where a lot of things are happening. And at this point, it just seems like every single day we have such positive news that we don't want to be overlooking. Subjective View says, if Ripple lands a Fed master account before custodian bank, Bitcoin maxis everywhere will be hysterical. There will be very mad, and who knows if that can happen. I wouldn't write it off from happening. But look at this open paid Ripple RLUSD with one master account. Virtual IBNs can instantly be created. Integration can take less than 2 weeks for new clients. If you really understand, the technicals of this, you can really understand how this is a complete revolution to the way of doing banking on a completely different scale. Why do you think the Ripple has, applied for that license, the banking license? Because they want to take part of this new revolution and they want to lead it. And believe it or not, they are one of the leaders in this space, in my honest opinion. But look, earlier today, Swiss regulated Amina Bank becomes a first bank globally to support Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin, offering custody and trading to institutional clients. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And I agree with Anders. Ripple is having some strong momentum right now. Good news every single day. And your boy Crypto ZX is bringing you guys these updates daily, no matter what. Like, it's time to lock in. Guys, it's actually time to lock in, as I've stated to you guys before. And honestly, I kind of made myself, this motivation to myself to, you know what? It's time to lock in for the second half of the year. We're going to be going crazy on the content for you guys. And I need each and every one of you guys to come on board. It helps out the channel a lot. And let's, push together, because I think the next 6 months are going to be quite interesting. And it's really time to be, paying very close attention. So look at this, July 3rd, 2025. Stocks rose after a strong June job report. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ hits fresh records high. U.S. market are closed for tomorrow because, of course, July the 4th. So happy July the 4th to everyone here in the U.S. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful long weekend, of course. But with that being said, now what happens if the FOMC meeting happens and we do see a rate cut? If stocks are already doing so good, what's going to happen? I think we're going to see that boom that a lot of people are waiting for, the start to the excitement, in my honest opinion. But again, obviously only time is going to tell. But if you're looking at the Bitcoin dominance here, it has picked up, still ranging around 65.29%. Bitcoin is about to close the daily candle, like I said, in the next half hour or so. We are sitting at $109,568. We want to close the price above $109,000 today. As we get closer to the daily candle close, of course, this is where the market makers really step in. You want to see us close above 109. If it's able to do that, I wouldn't even be surprised tomorrow we're sitting at above 110,000 tomorrow. That would be great, of course. So with that said, if you're looking at XRP, like I said, it is on a track to head towards that wick at $2.33. Very, very important level. I know I sound like a broken record at this point. You guys are probably at Crypto ZX. We've heard this 1,000 times. I don't care if you have to hear it 100,000 times, but until we don't break out of here, I'm going to continue to repeat that. But love you all. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.